Hi gang, this is Ryan McDowell with me today.
Hello.
And he is my CrossFit coach. He's the guy that's kept me out of the chiropractor's office. So I wanted to sit down and talk to him a little bit about what's working for me and what is probably working for a lot of moms who are using functional fitness to get strong. We hear about functional fitness a lot, but what does it really mean, Ryan?
What functional fitness really means is mimicking in the gym what you need to do in life. We need to pick up heavy things. We need to rotate and move and grab something and move from one spot of the house to the other. Whether that be groceries, whether that be a screaming child, or whatever it may be. We need to mimic what we're doing in the home, in the gym, to make sure that we can do that stuff pain-free.
And so if we're talking about functional fitness for a mom, what does that mean?
We need to pick stuff up and we need to press stuff up over our head. We need to be able to maintain core stability so that we are keeping our back as healthy as possible. Because parents of small children, I'm one parent of two small boys, is that we're always bending over to pick something up. We're always in this hunched over postural position, something that most mothers I'm sure can relate to very much so. And it's just a matter of how do we make sure that you are strong enough to be able to handle the things that come up when we're in that position.
And for moms who start out at a disadvantage, considering that their abdomens have stretched to the brink and sometimes have been split open by childbirth, they have to recover from that first. So how do we go about that?
So the recovery process really has to be the same way we would an injured athlete in any other case, and that is slowly increase the demands and the load upon that person. So that means with mothers at the very beginning, my wife, recovered from a C-section of twins. She could not grab lots of heavy stuff right off the bat. She had to let us do some of that stuff over those first several weeks. As she was able to do that, then it was grabbing 5 pounds, then it was 10 pounds, moving up very slowly, making sure that she was able to drive and lift with her hips and do the work that was maintaining that stability. Planks, squats, deadlifts, anything that we're going to be using the hips to do the lion's share of the movement is very, very important.
So we're basically teaching or reteaching ourselves how to lift things and pick things up. We tend to just use maybe our shoulders and our upper back, and we can't do that anymore. A
lot of people, when they use the term lift with your legs, will be only using the quads. We'll be using the front of the legs. We'll be up on our toes, and we'll be grabbing something, and we'll pull with our back, and we'll pull with the front of our legs. It's really, really important to say we've got to use the back side. You have to use all of the muscles of your legs, and the hips are really just as important, if not more important, than using the fronts. And that's why we want to really reteach that. A mom coming off of pregnancy is someone whose movement patterns are very different than they were before. We need to reteach and relearn that. That's why we see a lot of young mothers of young children who do have back problems because they did not relearn those patterns correctly, and they got into a faulty pattern. And that's what functional training really is. It's about developing and learning proper functional patterns, proper functional movements.
And the weight load is going to be increasing whether she likes it or not because her baby is going to be getting bigger.
Yep.
So how does she stay a step ahead of that so she doesn't hurt herself?
So making sure that as you're going forward, that the strength training that you can do above and beyond. My goal with any mother or any athlete that I work with, and I look at mothers as being athletes because they're having to deal with stuff all day long, is you have to be able to lift more than what you're going to do functionally. So if you have a 15-pound child, you need to be able to lift more than that so that you're not exceeding or hitting the limits of what your capacity is, what your abilities are. If you're always bumping up to that, you run the risk of injuring yourself, at a much greater clip, a much greater rate. So if you can lift much more than your child, hanging out and moving your child around, grabbing the car seat and all those things is going to be much easier if you can lift more than that. And that's where the strength training comes in, is that you really need to work at building your functional abilities so that you're never exceeding that or running right up to your levels and your capacities.
Great. Now run through the workout with us and let us know what it is, and then we'll have Darcy demonstrate.
Sure. The workout that we're going to use is one that's really short. It's going to be as many rounds as possible in 10 minutes of 10 10 squats, 10 push-ups, and 10 deadlifts. The idea is that we're using those functional movements that are really important to any young mother to help build hips and core strength. So by using as many rounds as possible in 10 minutes format, that allows us to go through and do this and keep monitoring ability, either how much load you're using or how many rounds you're able to complete in 10 minutes. You'll be able to see your progress, mark that progress, and be able to know that you're improving in strength, both in your ability to do more rounds in that limited time and using more weight for the exercises.
Great. And if other people want to learn more from you and hear more about what you have to say about functional fitness, where can they find you?
Sure, they can find me at maxmeadfitness.com. That's MAXMEAD fitness.com. That is my website. I do a blog, and I also provide do functional movement seminars and weightlifting classes at CrossFit Minnesota.
Thanks, Ryan.
Thank you.